Hello everyone and welcome back to the Calham64 LP Retrospective, and today we're going to be looking at my full blind LP of Metroid Prime for the GameCube. Even though that for quality purposes I actually played the Metroid Prime Trilogy version, which was upscaled on my Wii U. And the reason why is, well, actually, I'll let my past self explain. Take it away.
Admittedly, I did get this, for the Wii U, because they had, this sort of offer going on where you're able to get this game for pretty cheap. Because, see, Metroid Prime Trilogy for the Wii is actually pretty pricey now. You're looking at, 50 quid or so to buy it. Or maybe even more in places like America and stuff like that. But they had an offer going on for the Wii U eShop where I just paid, £8.50 for it. So I thought, I can't really miss that. You know, I would rather pay £8.50 instead of, £50 for a game like this, especially to be on Wii U and upscaled in 1080p HD, even though I'm playing this in 720p in order to record this in 60 frames per second and stuff like that.
An offer I couldn't really miss, and I was motivated to play Metroid Prime anyways, so win-win. But I'll talk about a little bit of a backstory going on for this LP. So, back when I finished my LP of Sonic Heroes for the GameCube, I announced at the very end that my next LP project would be Jak and Daxter The Precursor Legacy for the PS3, even though it was for the PS2, but you know, for quality purposes and 720p I was playing the PS3 version, except things kinda happened along the way. While at the start I was really motivated to play Jak and Daxter because I was literally practicing the PS2 version and beat it to 100% and went, yeah sure, I can make an LP of this any day. During that time, it was my second year of university, and I had a lot of work to get on with, so of course, you know, I had to do that a lot, so I didn't really have a lot of time to record and make things for Jak and Daxter. And then the sad thing is, when I did get around to having the time to do that, I lost motivation. I just didn't feel like playing Jak and Daxter. That's what I find happens when you plan to do an LP, but you don't get to it straight away. If you leave it for a while, you will lose motivation to play that game, because you're excited at first, but because of the absence of not playing it at all, you forget how fun it was, and then you forget all the things that you're going to say about it. So in the end, I just thought, no, I can't. I need to do an LP of a game that I'm going to enjoy. I mean, sure, I said that I was going to do it after Sonic Heroes, but what's the point if I'm not motivated for it, and I know that I'm not going to enjoy it? So, with me not wanting to play Jak and Daxter, I just thought, that's fine, I've got other games in the library that I can choose from, but nothing really hit me. I just didn't feel motivated to play any games that I'd played before. In the end, I thought I might as well resort to a blind LP, because then at least I know that's a game I've never played before, and it's a complete surprise for me, and I don't know, I just wanted to play a blind LP at that time instead of just a game that I know about. And then, out of nowhere, Metroid Prime happened. Having played all the other Metroid titles throughout the years, in fact one of them, Super Metroid, is actually one of my favourite games of all time, I never really tackled or even looked at the Metroid Prime games. And one of my friends called Luke said it was one of his favourite games of all time, so I felt like I was missing out on a lot of things. So in the end I just thought, well, I've never played Metroid Prime before, so how would it be if I did it blind, because it's a completely different genre. It's a shooter, it's a first-person shooter, if you will. Especially like a space adventure going on. So in the end, I was like, yeah, Metroid Prime, that sounds really cool. Yeah, I'm literally just I'm gonna grab my Wii remote, and I'm gonna be playing some Metroid Prime. It's gonna be wicked. It was also because I did actually buy the Trilogy version on the Wii U for a cheap price. Well, I couldn't really miss out that offer, like I was saying. And I did play the beginning of Metroid Prime before, when I got it back then, but I didn't really get that far. I literally, I think, just got past the very first level where you fight against the Parasite Queen, and then that's it, you know, where everything all blows up and then you try to evacuate. So since I literally only cleared the first level, I felt like the rest of the game would just be a complete surprise to me. So then, yeah, straight on forward from there, it was Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime Blind at that. And honestly, a weird memory I have from it, one that you guys probably didn't know about nor care, is when recording the very first episode of Metroid Prime. In fact, if you watch the LP, you'll notice episode 1, the mic quality is a lot less clear, and then episode 2 and onwards it's just fine because that was when I upgraded. But what really interested me was the way I was recording, because, you know, the bounty hunter Samus Aran is in this power suit, looking around, shooting at things, and while I was doing that, I was moving around with the Wii Remote and nunchuck, moving my arm about, whilst having a headset on me, so it felt like I was literally inside the suit. I know that sounds really cheesy and stupid, but I don't know, I just remember that being like, oh my god, wow, this is so cool. It's like I'm literally Samus Aran. I'm glad though that in episode 1, I did admit that yes, I have played this game before, but only past the first level, because I could not try to pretend that I didn't play the game ever. That wouldn't have gone down very well, because, you know, it would just be lying, and I want to basically say the truth. Of course, episode 2 and onwards is when my microphone suddenly upgraded. After years of using the Microsoft LifeChat LX3000 headset, I then moved on to a blue Snowball microphone. I got given this for Christmas and was really happy about it, so of course over the time with the Christmas period, I bought myself a microphone stand to fit on the blue Snowball microphone, as well as a pop filter. And in fact, even now, to this day, as I speak through this retrospective, this is the same microphone I am using. I think it's great. It works as a charm. So my blind LP of Metroid Prime was the very first LP to use the blue Snowball Ice microphone, and there's no going back. Of course, I do remember, even though it made the mic quality a lot better, it got in the way when I was actually trying to play the game, because of course the microphone was on a microphone stand with a pop filter in the way. And you gotta remember, while I was playing Metroid Prime, I needed the sensor bar while playing the game, because I had to point my Wii Remote at the sensor bar in order to move Samus's arm cannon around the place. The nunchuck was fine, because, you know, that was just moving about pressing buttons. But sometimes I did find that my microphone stand was in the way, so sometimes I had to go down a little bit lower than what I was also when trying to record. And at some point you might find that with some episodes. There may be ones where I'm a little bit more further away from the mic, because let's just say, for instance, I might be down here or something, you know, trying to play it also. But I did at least make sure that through the majority of them, my mouth was definitely in line with the pop filter going on. And I just remember that being a bit of an annoyance. Oh, the actual period when this LP launched was really strange as well. Episode 1 was back in November. I literally just felt like playing some Metroid Prime, given the fact that I was like, yeah, cool, I'm definitely going to do a blind LP of Metroid Prime. So I just booted it up and recorded it with my headset going on. But then, that was it. I don't know what happened. I guess university work just had a lot more going on, so I had that to do instead. And then I recorded episode 2 and onwards for Metroid Prime in January. Yeah, so I literally had like a 2-month gap in between episode 1 and 2. I find that really strange. Except I'm kind of glad that I did record it in January, because of course through playing Metroid Prime, it felt really cold in most of the areas that I went to, except for Magmore Caverns obviously. But you know, the majority of it, let's just say the Talon Overworld, Venjana Drifts in particular, they felt chilly. And of course it was January, and that's the month where pretty much it starts to get a little bit more cold with rain going on. So I actually found it really fitting for the month that I was playing Metroid Prime through. I was basically playing it through the months of winter in particular. And it just felt extremely fitting. It was a very exciting LP to launch though, honestly. I mean, I had a new microphone, I was playing through a different type of genre of game, and it just felt extremely different compared to what I was used to. And I was really comfortable with it. But, oh boy, even though it was a fun project, it was a rather lengthy one. Still not as long as Spyro 3 though, oddly enough. Yeah, I found that really weird. Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon for the PS1 was a lot longer than Metroid Prime. And I beat both of those games to 100%. I beat Spyro 3 to 117%, and I even beat Metroid Prime to 100%, except for scanning stuff, but that doesn't really count towards 100% on your actual file, which is rather useful for me for the LP. The episode range of the whole LP of Metroid Prime was literally over the 40s. It was up there with the likes of Spyro 3 as well, because that too passed the 40th mark. The LP turned out a lot longer than intended, but I didn't care. I was having fun. I remember it was really nice though to get assistance from viewers along the way. Even though I could find things out myself for trying to defeat bosses and, you know, navigating around the place, finding where to go to next, it was nice that people told me small hints here and there to make things a lot easier when it comes to 100% in Metroid Prime, where one of them told me a thing which made, oh my god, acquiring all items a hell of a lot easier, where if you listen for a humming noise, that basically means that there is a missile tank or an energy tank or just, any kind of item nearby. And that helped me out a hell of a lot when it came to actually just finding the last remaining items. Because I remember, on one of the last episodes of Metroid Prime, I literally went to the menu, turned off the music to the game, and put the sound effects at full volume, just so that every area I went to, I would listen to humming. And oh my god, there was a lot of production going on in that one. Well, so real quick, can I just say, what is with the narrator at the beginning? Like seriously, the very beginning in the intro cutscene has this narrator that says something once, is completely absent of the whole entire game until you get to the very end where suddenly he starts speaking again. I was like, oh my god, it's the narrator again, I forgot all about him. I don't know why, it's just, I find it completely unnecessary to have it in a Metroid game, for a game that's supposed to be about loneliness, and moving around in a space environment, and then you have a narrator going on. I'm like, what? Why? I looked up about that a while ago actually, and it turns out that apparently that Metroid Prime for the GameCube, at least the PAL version where I'm from, actually has that narrator included in it, but the American version, known as the NTSC, doesn't. That's why people were a bit confused, whenever they played the trilogy version and then it had that narrator. They're like, wait, what? Why is there a narrator at the beginning? What is this? Another thing I do regret though in the LP is the level of difficulty that I chose, because at the very end when the LP finished, people were like, that was a good LP, but it's a shame that you didn't play it on veteran mode. Yes, I played through the entire game on normal mode, which is basically easy, and I was wondering why I basically didn't die at all throughout the entire LP. That was mainly the reason why. So of course, when I do come round to doing a blind LP of Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, that will be on veteran mode. Because it will happen, I promise. The same with Mega Man X3. Oh, I remember really enjoying making the outro to this series. I made it so that it was some sort of signal that interrupts Samus while she's going on her adventure, so that every time the episode ended, you basically, well, I'll let the visuals explain it. There you go. The outro had a lot going on, but I honestly think it was worth it. I had a really fun time making that. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about my blind LP of Metroid Prime. I would explain more about it in terms of the gameplay and stuff, but honestly, I think the LP and the actual gameplay going on speaks for itself, given the fact that it's a full 3D space adventure. I mean, sure, I talked about some things here and there with Mega Man X2, but that's because every episode was predictable with everything going on, You went through a level, you killed the Maverick, and then you move on to the next one, and then vice versa. But Metroid Prime had something new all the time going on, so that's why I don't really want to give too much away, to be honest. So I'm going to put this retrospective short here. Well, join me next time where I'm going to be talking about a game which is much shorter than Metroid Prime. Like seriously, this is always the thing I've noticed when it comes to long LPs. After I do a long LP, I do a short one immediately afterwards, because I mean, it was the same even back in 2013. I did a long LP of Minish Cap for the Game Boy Advance, and what did I do after that? Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Mega Drive. And then after that, my longest LP was Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon for the PS1. What did I do after that? Sonic Spinball for the Mega Drive. So of course, after Metroid Prime, what game did I do after that? Actually, no, it wasn't a Sonic game on the Mega Drive, surprisingly, because it was a PC game on Steam that I did with a friend, known as HarryTM12. So join me next time where I'm going to be talking about my very short, mini blind, I suppose, LP of Shelter for the PC with HarryTM12. See you then. To see the next episode of this retrospective series, go to here. To see the full playlist of this series going on, go to here. To see the original LP of the one I have critiqued, go to here, or even consider subscribing to the channel by going to here instead. Thank you for watching.